Time now for our political insiders. Tony May, Charlie Giroux join us here in studio. Guys, as always, welcome.
Good to be here.
Big changes in the polling. Now Donald Trump and Carson are tied right now. Dr. Ben Carson, you kind of expected things to change all along. You've been talking about how these polls are so early.
They're early and everybody gets a chance to be at the front of the pack. But I think there is one thing that's going on now that I think is a message that neither political party in Washington has gotten very clearly. That the leaders now are Trump, Dr. Ben Carson, and Carly Fiorina, the former head of Hewlett-Packard. And what that says is people don't want anybody from Washington, D.C.
Well, Carly Fiorina is just now getting into the CNN debate, actually, because they just changed the criteria during this broadcast.
Really good news for those of us that are Carly Fiorina supporters, and in the interest of full disclosure, I am one of her national co-chairmen and very proud to be. She has surged in the polls, in part because, as Tony suggests, she's not a political insider, and voters of both parties, it's not just Republicans, but voters of both parties are signaling that they're tired of the political establishment, tired of the Washington, D.C. class, and they're looking for new faces, fresh voices, and in particular, in the case of Carly Fiorina, somebody with executive experience who's proven her mettle and that she can get things done.
What does that mean for the political insiders? We have so many candidates, and even on the Democratic side, we have Hillary Clinton.
I think it's interesting. I think the Trump phenomenon is it's not so much what people from Washington are saying, because he's saying essentially the same thing, double down, and with Trump, so to speak. But they are just part of the failed infrastructure of the federal government that people are unhappy with. And if you work there, they're mad at you.
Is that going to change?
No, I think that 2016 is going to continue to reflect a disillusionment on the part of the electorate, both Republican, Democrat, and Independent, with the permanent political class in Washington, D.C. And I think that's why you see candidates like Carly Fiorina surging. And it's also why you've got to look very far down in the list to even find somebody who's a sitting member of Congress among the Republican aspirants polling well. And if you do, it's probably Ted Cruz, who's kind of the anti-establishment guy in Washington, D.C. On the Democratic side, I mean, Tony, I'm sure would like us to not look over there that much because they've got their own problems as Hillary Clinton's campaign continues to implode and come unraveled.
Well,
and
Hillary's not from Washington.
No, of course not.
Okay, since we're running out of time, Trump keeps saying, I'm not going away. Do you think he will eventually go away if this does not
My personal view of Donald Trump is that eventually he is going to say enough things and do enough things that he will be caused to go away.
Tony?
I think he won't last through New Hampshire.
We'll have to see.
We will.
That's still a long way off.
It is a long way off, but it'll get here before we know it.
This whole thing started so early. You know, I wonder if there's going to be some fatigue among the American voters. You know,
They love it.
Actually,
they love it.
I know I do. It's always entertaining.
Thanks, guys. You can catch our political insiders every Tuesday right here on CBS 21 News at 5:30.
And join us on Sunday mornings at 11:30 for CBS 21's Face the State. That's right after CBS's Face the Nation.